Okay, this is the next video in our continuation of our AWS series. And in this video, we will look about the next AWS service, that is the CloudTrail. Okay, so to search this service, just come to the AWS console and search the CloudTrail. So if you search, so there is a pop-up which shows you the service name CloudTrail, and there is some description that is track user activity and API usage. So CloudTrail is like a very useful service which basically track approximately everything happening like onto the AWS. So let's suppose you are creating an EC2 instance. So that kind of information is storing into the CloudTrail. You are storing the EC2 instance, so that kind of also information like storing into the CloudTrail. Whatever you are doing, anything, even if you are running any AWS command from your terminal, but on the cloud, AWS CLI command, or even if you are running your Python code, but that Python code is calling some of the AWS services, maybe Lambda or maybe DynamoDB. So you are calling the APIs. So whatever you will do, it will record all the activity, right? So what it do, it will record activity in AWS service as an AWS CloudTrail events, and we can store the logs into the S3 bucket. So that is a different things. So let's come to the AWS CloudTrail. So these are the basic some points about the AWS CloudTrail. So by CloudTrail is enabled by default. So even if you don't do anything on the service, still whatever you will do, you can see your logs. So it is not like the CloudWatch logs where you have to first enable the service, and then if you give, let's suppose I am working on a Lambda function and I want to store the logs to the CloudWatch, or if I am working on the EC2 instance, or I am working on the Beanstack and I want my application store the logs on the CloudWatch, then I need to set up the CloudWatch log group, set up the IAM permission, so many things, right? But if I did not set up there, the logs will not going to store over the CloudWatch. But in the CloudTrail, sorry. But in the CloudTrail, you don't need to enable anything. So by default, it is enabled. So CloudTrail is enabled by default. And why it is being used? It is being used for the basically for the audit purpose or governance or compliance purpose. Let's suppose you have set up a few things, and after a few days, you notice it has been deleted. So you want to investigate who deleted that. So you can come to the CloudTrail. So your first step of investigation should be the CloudTrail. First you open the CloudTrail, and then you can see the set of events. Okay, so whatever you do, whether you run any whether do any action using the console or using the AWS CLI or using the SDK. SDK means like any code or any AWS service, it will get stored here. All right. Okay, so I have mentioned here, if you delete any AWS resource, so your first step should be investigate the CloudTrail first if you want to investigate who deleted that. So there are basically three type of event which stored here. One is the management event, one is the data events, one is the CloudTrail insight events. So let's first check before using the service whether the CloudTrail service is free or not. So come to the Google, search the AWS free tier. Scroll down and let's search CloudTrail. So it is saying management tools. Under it is under the management tool, and some of the service mentioned here free tier, but make sure you always read the description, because in the description there is some limit or some kind of actions only are free, not like the whole service is free. Even it is mentioned it's free tier and it will remain always free. But if you read here properly, it is said that a set of trial that delivers a single copy of the management events. So only the management events, if you want to store here, that's are free, and management events are the by default events. So management events means if you are creating an EC2 instance, creating a key pair, creating a security group, all this kind of the management instance. So those like action, if you are performing, those action are like getting stored into the CloudTrail, and that's are free. But there are like a few other kind of actions. Example, data events or the CloudTrail insight event. Data events means you have the like S3 bucket or Lambda function. So in the S3 bucket, you are putting the data, you are deleting the data, you are updating the data, any action you want to perform. So these action is not cover under the like free event. So if you enable the data event, so that's why the data events are not enabled by default. By default are the management events. So if you enable the data event, you have to pay. It doesn't mean that the like CloudTrail is free and the data events also free. So here it is clearly mentioned, set up a trail that delivers a single copy of the management events. Only the management events are free. Additional rates will apply for any data event and for additional copies of management event beyond the first copy. So for the data events, you have to like pay. Okay, so let's close that. And one is the other is the like insight events. So insight events means, so let's suppose you are like you started like seeing some unusual activity in your account, like hitting like services limits. So let's suppose the Lambda service is like within a microseconds, it is like hitting millions of requests. So like some unusual activity you are seeing, so that's covered under the insight events. So you can enable the data events, you can enable the insight events, but make sure like you have to pay for that, because these are not free. Management events are the by default free. Along with that, in the cloud events, the store like the logs get stored for the 90 days by default. So if you want to store like more than the 90 days, the way you can store is to you can push the logs to the like S3 bucket, and then you can use the Athena as a tool to Athena is like one of the service of the AWS. So in which is used to basically to run some SQL commands over the S3 logs. So you can use the Athena and you can uh, analyze the S3 logs which is being stored, but by default it is a 90 days. Okay, so if I open the CloudTrail, right, and this account I am operating from like from past number of months. So if I want to see any activities happening, so how I can see, so if you go to this the hamburger option and you go to the dashboard, so I can see a lot of event here. So even if you go to the event history, so you could see like on 18th of June, I did like a delete trail, delete bucket, create bucket, so many things like I did. If you scroll, if you next, so many things I did on the 17th June, 16th June. All right. Right now there is a filter of read only event, and the filter is false. So I can give the filter as a true as well. So read only means like the only events in which I did the read, that is the list bucket, describe trail. All these are the read only events. Earlier it is the false. So we can do the filter as well. Along with that, if I go to the event name, and the event name may be like terminate instance. Terminate instance. So if I click here, so let's suppose any you have created an EC2 instance in your project and someone has deleted that, or maybe some job has deleted and you want to investigate who has deleted that. So come to the CloudTrail, go to the event name, search for the terminate instance. You will see, okay, like this instance get terminated, this instance get terminated. So you can even analyze the log, you can click on it, and you can like scroll down, you can like analyze, okay, this is invoked by the cloud formation. It means like the cloud formation template like has like deleted that EC2 instance, because this instance is created using the cloud formation. So as soon as I deleted the cloud formation stack template, this the EC2 instance get deleted. So like this should be your like first investigation step. Okay, so by default it is enabled, so that's why like we are able to see like a number of events here. Okay, but there is a trail, so you can create your trails. So right now there is a no trail, so let's create the trail. And as we know, like the management events are free, but the data events and the insight events you have to pay. So we will play only with the management events. So go to the trail name and enter it trail name. Let's suppose give the trail name as the management events. All right. So why we are creating the trail when the like logs are already being when all the events are like visible here, then what is the need to like create the like trails especially. because like if the events which are like registered here as part of the event history, these are not getting stored into my S3 bucket or even the CloudWatch logs. So if I want some extra actions, then I have to like create that. So let's give the trail name. So now it is like they have mentioned where you want to store the logs. So create a new S3 bucket or use the existing. So let's create a new S3 bucket. So by default, like S3 bucket, like the name is like automatic populated. You can change if you want to change. Then it says log file SSC KMS encryption. That is the whatever the logs it will store. Do you want to encrypt it? So I don't want to encrypt it. I want to analyze it by default. So log file validation, okay, enabled. SNS notification delivery, do you want to make it enabled? No. CloudWatch logs, do you want to enable the CloudWatch logs? So I want the logs, whatever the action, any API being called over the AWS by either using the console or either using the AWS CLI or either using the AWS SDK, we know that will automatically get stored as part of the event history into the CloudTrail. But we also know if in the CloudTrail it gets stored up to maximum 90 days. So generally, but the audit generally in the company can be like done after 1 year. So after 90 days, the logs get disappeared or can vanish. So we can't investigate the logs. So that's why like generally we have to create the trail and we have to like store the information, pass the information from like CloudTrail to the S3 bucket. So S3 bucket we have already mentioned above. So here, along with that, we want okay, sorry, we want to push the logs into the CloudWatch log group. So let's enable the CloudWatch logs. So as soon as we enable, so because we know in the CloudWatch there is a concept of the log group and the log stream. So it should there should be first on the top level there should be a log group. So we have enabled it. It says okay, do you have the existing log group or that you want to create it? Okay, let's me create the new log group. But we know CloudWatch is a different service and CloudTrail is a different service. Now CloudTrail wants to store the logs into the CloudWatch. So both are the different service. So we have to attach some role with the CloudTrail so that it has put log events or create logs events, some events action it can allow and like store into the CloudWatch log. So that's why you have to create an IAM role. If we give a like a role name, so CloudTrail CloudWatch events. If you go to the policy document, so even if you have the policy documents, you could see it is giving you the allow access create log stream because on the top of the log group, inside the log group, it will create the log stream and inside the log stream, it will put the log events. So only these policy document is by default. If you want to like add a tag, you can add. Okay, so if you go to the next, now as I told you, there are three types of events. One is the management event, one is the data events, one is the insight events. So you can click on the data events if you want, you can click on the insight events if you want. But we also see like as part of the free tier, only the management events are free. So if you click on the data events and the insight events, these are not free. So for the hands-on purpose, don't click on the data events or the insight, otherwise you have to pay. So click on only on the management events. So choose the activity you want to log, whether you want to log the read activity or the write activity. Okay, let's include both and click on the next. So that's it. So here we don't have any data events. We don't have any like insight events because these are both are paid. So let's create a trail. It is taking some minutes to get it created. So now it has like created, it is a multi-region trail. Insight events are disabled. So we have attached the S3 bucket. We have attached the like CloudWatch log groups. So let's open it. So let's open this link. So this is the S3 link. So we can see like because the logs will be like going to push into the S3 bucket. So under the buckets, we have one bucket which is getting created. If you open this, we have the AWS logs. So some folder name. Now we have the CloudTrail digest, CloudTrail. If you open the CloudTrail, there is nothing for right now. If you open the CloudTrail digest, there is nothing. All right. Similarly, if we open the CloudWatch, because we created the CloudWatch log group as well. So let's see if it is created. So go to the log groups. So we have the CloudWatch log group. If we open that, so one log stream is there, and right now there are no events. So because we have not done, because we have like done so many things, we open the CloudWatch, we open the S3 bucket. So these are also the like some kind of events we are doing, but right now these are not getting stored because it takes like a few minutes, maybe 5 minutes or up to 15 minutes to get it stored. So let's do one thing. Go to the EC2. Even if you create an EC2 instance, now it will like get created. But instead of the EC2, let's do one thing. If you go to the key pair, let me create some fake key pair. Fake key pair. Like I'm giving just this a name, basically any name. So let's create a key pair. So key pair has been like created. So this is the like, one kind of event, because as soon as I hit on this button, so one API is being called. So because we know in the CloudWatch, in the CloudTrail, like if we do any action, either using the console, either using the CLI, or either using the SDK, or any AWS services, it is a kind of event, and all these are come under the management events. But the data events, like if I create an S3 bucket, I put something, those data events are also kind of events, but those are not getting stored because we have unchecked that, because we know those are the paid one. So we did like some kind of events here. So right, so now we have to see whether these are getting stored or not. So if we go to the like CloudTrail, so first we have to see on the CloudTrail, then we will see on the, because if it is not coming into the CloudTrail, then how we can see into the uh, CloudWatch or S3? Because the first step is come to the CloudTrail, and then from the CloudTrail it will go to the S3 and the CloudWatch logs. So if you go to the event history, so if we go to the event name, create key pair something, create key pair, because we created that. So it is like old, it is like whatever I created earlier, maybe on 1st May I created, and it is like showing the latest one only. But today is the 18th of June, and I created on 18th of, that is not showing here. So let's wait for a few minutes, maybe. So now, yeah, so now it is visible. So of 18th of June, it is visible. So create key pair is visible. So we can like see everything. So if you click on the event, we can like see what is the creation date, who created that, from which resource it is created, how it is created, what is the name of that. So many things we can like see that. Okay, so now our expectation is to whatever the event like created here, because we created the trail. So right, so we created the trail. So what we are expecting, these should go to the CloudWatch logs. And so let's see, if you open the so see, so many events are like come here. One second, let me go to the log group. And under the log group there are like two events, CloudTrail EUS2, EUS24. There are two events. So if you click on it, so a lot of events are like occur, because like whatever I am doing, it's a kind of event only. So CloudWatch logs. So let's try to find the key pair. So key pair is here. So yeah, so this is the describe key pair. So when I like click on it, is this the old one or the new one? It is of created on 18th of June. So let's search for the create key pairs. Yeah, so this one is there. So it is a create key pair, and it is created on 18th of June. And the key name is the fake key pair. So now we able to see our like event into the CloudWatch log stream as well. So basically we have stored here. So let's see into the S3. So if we go to the S3, so this is our S3 bucket. Open that S3. If you open the CloudTrail, so this is the region specific. So EU West 2, 2022 06. How many folders are there? Okay, so there is some events are getting stored. This is in the GZ format. So okay. So if you want to stop the logging to the CloudWatch or S3, we can stop the logging here as well. All right. Or if you want to delete the CloudTrail, even though it is free, the management events are free, but better once we uh, done with our hands on, better delete the services, right? So if we click on delete, so you see, you will no longer receive log file from this trail. Log files that were have already delivered to your S3 bucket are not deleted unless you delete them. So they are saying if you delete the CloudTrail, it doesn't mean that the automatically by default whatever the you stored into the S3 bucket or the CloudWatch, it will delete. You have to manually delete it. That is fine. We will manually delete it. Along with that, you will no longer receive your log file from this trail. So on the CloudTrail, automatically it will come. The deleting the trail doesn't mean that I am disabling the CloudTrail. CloudTrail is by default enabled. Whatever I will do as part of the management events, everything will get logged into here. But why I created the CloudTrail? Because I want to store the events into the S3 bucket or the CloudWatch log groups. Because in the CloudWatch we know we can store the logs for the infinite period as well. So let's delete it. So now there is no trail. So go to the CloudWatch log group. Let's delete that. So and let's delete the S3 one as well. So click on it, delete. So it's deleted. And now delete the bucket. Because we don't need this bucket anymore. And if you want to create delete the IAM role as well, so we can delete that IAM role which get created, because we store the cloud, so this get created by our action only. So let's delete. Even if you don't delete, it's okay. It doesn't matter. So yeah, that's the very useful survey. So if you want to analyze anything, so I would suggest explore the CloudTrail because it is very useful. You can investigate any kind of event. If any EC2 instances get deleted and you want to analyze who deleted that, just come to the CloudTrail rather than dropping an email to your team who deleted that and asking. Come to the CloudTrail, investigate who deleted that. All right. So that's it. That's the end of the video. Thank you.